break and stuff like that?
Well, when you're in EMT, you have to do a ride log anyway.
Yeah,
Because
but it won't count for anything in your school. You're strictly just doing it for the fun of doing it.
That's cool.
So-
That's awesome.
Try to look at the weather before you do it. Like if it's supposed to rain and storm, don't bother coming because we're just gonna be playing Xbox all day.
Yep.
But
So, do you guys get much calls today?
I worked up to just before Christmas was my last one, and we did 4 flights in a day. So and we did 24s there too. So you do it as let's consider like a flight observation ride type thing. Is that already recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So this is the radio station. All right. Everybody grab a radio. They're all the same, but don't turn it on. Don't do anything with it yet. Just kind of hold it in your hand.
Makes sense. Look pretty.
If take your glove off of your dominant hand. We've had issues with people fat fingering it today. So by the end of the academy, you guys should be able to work all these without taking gloves off. But I get that you guys haven't had much training with them. So there's that. The big things with radios. Do not hit your orange button unless you actually have to. You know, like you watch a movie and they say, "Oh, don't push the red button." Yeah, that's this orange button. Okay. We'll go over to what that does in more depth. But the first things we'll go over are the components of the radio. So this is an external microphone. Okay. A lot of the fire department has them. EMS usually just walks around with their radio. Law enforcement, you see it clipped to their chest, and then they actually have an earpiece. That earpiece plugs into this. And if you will look into their ear, you can see like a little clear, curly cute looking microphone. So that's a piece of equipment. It goes on just like a book. So you put it in the bottom and then fold it together and then lift up on the clip and it clips in. This is your push to talk. Have you guys ever heard the key ups on these?
Yes.
Okay, so you know it goes chirp 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 when you key up. You can't start talking before that key up. If you do, everything you said before that, nobody's gonna hear you. Okay? Because what that's doing is it's sending the signal out, and then it's gonna catch a repeater and send it back. So that's what it's doing. That chirp up is sending the signal and receiving the signal. The purple button is light. That's all it does. When you turn on your radio, the purple button's right here, top side. When you turn on your radio, your green will be your screen will be green. That green screen turns off after a couple minutes of being on. If you're in a dark, smoky environment and you want that screen on, just hit your purple button. These 2 buttons we're not going to worry about today. Those are like sites and controlling what radio site you're on throughout the state of Michigan and stuff like that. But we'll get into some basics with radio operations and communication and stuff like that. The 2 biggest things are obviously the orange button. Radio etiquette is huge, right? I can tell you from first-hand experience on an ambulance, when you're wrestling with a patient, it's easy for something to slip. I can tell you that everybody in Genesee County heard me drop an F-bomb on the radio, and then within like 2 minutes I had 10 missed phone calls. It happens, but don't, just be mindful of things like that. Also remember that when you're talking on a radio, it's always "Hey you" from me. Okay? So if he's command, it's command from whoever I am, engine 22, whatever. That's always big to know. It's not just a,
Yo, what's up?
all right. It's all very structured. It's kind of like you don't freelance in the fire ground. You don't freelance when you're talking to a radio. Okay. So everybody, do me a favor, take their toggle before we turn it on, and make sure it's all the way to the right or to the left. I'm sorry. Other way. You should be going towards your power button, which is the first button. Okay. Once that's done, everybody turn this on and turn it like halfway, because I don't want to go deaf if somebody gets called. So it should be like straight back at the radio. Keep turning yours. Just watch your feet because you're real close. There you go. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Everybody should see that this thing says 47 FD 911. If it doesn't, let me know. Okay, that 47 FD is Here's W. F47FD, to give you basic terms. The 47 is the site location that we're in. So again, in all of the state, there's different sites. The 47 is the site location, and then because we're firefighters and try to make things simple, FD 911 would be what? What number do we call them? 911, right? So 47 FD 911 is central dispatch. Okay. We make it again even more simpler. All the way to the left is always channel 1. All the way to the right is channel 16. What do you think those two channels are?
ITAC and dispatch.
Oh, what channel are we on right now? We're on 1.
Dispatch.
Okay, so channel 16 is the exact same. Why do we do that?
So when you're on a call and you switch from like a tactical channel to a dispatch channel, you can just quickly do it without, you know.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, if like something you need to talk really quick, you just turn it.
Yep.
All the way one way or all the way the other way?
Yep, so you're in a dark, smoky environment, you have to call a mayday or something, you have to get something out to dispatch. You're not sitting having to stare at a screen going, crap, what channel am I on, what channel am I on? It's all the way to the left, all the way to the right. The other option that you do have is everybody take that channel and just turn it to a random channel. Okay, as long as it doesn't say 47 FD 911, I'm fine with that. Okay, everybody see this little house button right here? Push and hold that.
Wait, what?
See the house button on right here. Push and hold that. What did that bring us back to?
FD 911.
Okay, so that's another option for you. Granted, if you're in a fire with gloves, you might not be able to hit that, so that's why it's like that. So everybody turn their channel all the way back to the left. We'll be putting it all the way back to channel 1, that'll put you back on central dispatch. The big thing to note too is that if you're going to a call with a radio, you need to be listening to traffic because there's a good chance they're going to tell you, depending on the call, to switch to a different channel. Okay? Central dispatch is used to get tones out. We're not going to jam up that channel by talking, hey, I need sprinters, hey, I need this, hey, I need that. So every department in Livingston County has a private channel. And when I mean private, it's public, but I'm saying it's specifically designated for that department. So if we haven't gotten already, every Brighton truck starts with the number what?
4.
4 is Fowlerville.
3.
Okay. So engine 34, ladder 31, rescue 31, rescue 35, engine 35. Everything starts with a 3. So we can take a wild guess at what channel they're going to have.
3.
Right. So it's going to be FD 003 is Brighton's talk group. FD 002 is Howell's talk group. FD 004, Fowlerville, so on and so forth. Hamburg is 1, Heartland is 6, Reno is 8. So that's how that works. The 2 channels that are recorded, every single thing you said, is EMER 1, EMER 2. So any of those EMER channels and central dispatch. They can go back in real time and play word for word what you said. That's a benefit and a curse. Again, if you're doing something you shouldn't be on the radio, it's recorded. If they're claiming that you left a scene without clearing or something like that, well, if you know for a fact you did it, they can pull the tapes and actually hear what you said. So again, blessing and curse. So the orange button. Everybody for today, just keep your fingers away from it. We're going to talk about it for a minute. The orange button is your oh crap, I needed help yesterday button. Okay? The issue with that is it gets bumped all the time. Okay? So it's kind of like a fire alarm. How many fire alarms do we run? A ton of them. Okay? How many of them are actually fires? Less than 5%, right? So we get complacent, right? We're probably going in there with probably not an Omex on, not thinking it's anything. And then there's going to be that one time where you're going to be caught off guard because it's going to be a real fire. It's the same exact thing with the orange button, and it's a problem across the entire industry. Because guys think it's a funny prank when this is hanging out in your back pocket and you're washing the truck in the morning and they'll walk by and just tap your orange button. Don't be that person. Treat this orange button as if it's your life and death, okay? If you hit that orange button on accident, it's fine. Nobody's gonna come after you and be like, oh, you're fired and all this stuff. But there's steps that you gotta do to resolve what you just did. So the orange button calls in the cavalry. That is your SIMS code, is what it's called. In Livingston County, they also have something called Code X or X-ray. X-ray, you can key up on any radio in Livingston County and say X-ray, 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 and it is the exact same thing as pushing the orange button. If you push the orange button, it is just like picking up the phone and dialing 911 and then hanging up. You're gonna get a phone call back. If you push it, whether it's on purpose or accidental, they're going to key up and ask you something. They're gonna ask you, are you secure? The answer is yes or no, and if it's a yes, and it was an accidental trip, advise them that it's an accidental trip. And that's the end of it. However, you have to, on these type of radios, you have to reset that alarm, okay? You turn the radio off, you pull the battery out. You wait 5 seconds, you put the battery back in, and you turn it back on. If you just shut it off and you do not pull the battery out, that alarm will still be going off in dispatch. And it is super annoying. It sits there and just goes bong, 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 across every computer in dispatch. Some radios, it's departmental difference. I don't know if it's in Livingston County or not, but if you hit your orange button, it opens your mic up. So it's basically locked open and they can hear everything you're saying. So be mindful of that as well if it's an accidental trip. So that's enough really with the orange button. Just know that if it's an accident, it's fine, but you need to resolve it and reset the alarm. If it's not an accident and you can't say you're not secure, you know what I mean? Like if you got a patient that's being combative or something, or you got a knife held up against you and you were able to hit that, don't answer it. You know, if you don't answer them, they're going to treat it like it's a real event. But again, the issue is we hit this so many times that it should, technically how it's supposed to work is you hit it and that's it, they immediately send help. But we've had so many accidental pushes over years of this being out there that now they sit there and they say, well, are you secure or not secure? Well, I'd hope if you're pushing it, I'm not secure. But again, we had to create this because of accidental pushes and everything else. We get accidents happen. If you scroll one channel to the right, you will see FD 47 FD 003. That's that private talk group for Brighton. If you go again, they'll say 47 MD 911. MD is medical director. So like that's for EMS. If they have to get that's a physician.
Well, we are seeing mileage 2.5.
Is that one mine?
2.5 everybody.
Are you on MD 911?
No, I mean,
Just watch these fingers. You see on Central.
okay.
Oh man, yours is-
Yeah, mine is. Yeah, mine starts at 5. Like that's where mine.
Okay, so all these are programmed a little differently.
Well, I know they just changed the channels around a little bit.
Right, I have the new guide.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. But so everybody's might be a little different. So mine currently, I'm on MD 911. That's the medical director. Everybody should have an EMR1 in there. That's like your structured fire channel. They'll tell you to move all traffic to EMR1. That's the whole recording stuff. These channels have different zones. Okay, so if you look at that metal toggle on the top, it says A, B, and C. If you go to B, and you hit your 2 buttons at the bottom, so you hit the 2 buttons and then you scroll.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
I'll help you. So
I'm just watching.
if you're on B, you hit your 2 buttons,
Okay.
and then come over.
I love how the time's not correct on these. Mine says it's 6:41 p.m.
Radios and stuff mine are.
Dang, 12:09 for me. It's an early morning. In the early morning.
The 2 dots.
So 2 dots, and you're on B, and you can go
What should I go to?
You're looking for S 475 JL. Stat should be right before it. So one more. Nope, other way. Huh. Okay, you don't have it in this radio. So just leave it. Okay, so they just hit their
Okay.
Sims code. So did you hear them say accidental push? Did you just hit okay? They'll reset their radio. Alright, so are you on jail? No. So what you do? There's 2 buttons. Just leave it there. And then same thing. So no, just push it and then spill. You have to know what you're looking for. Okay. So what this does is now that you're on the JL, if you be very careful with the key up button on this. But if you turn your channel toggle, you'll start seeing like JBR should be your next channel. That stands for St. Joe's Brighton. You keep going. UMHH, University of Michigan Health Hospital.
You said you. Oh, there.
Okay?
SJH is like St. Joseph's.
Yep. So you can actually, this is what EMS uses to call their patient care reports to the hospital. Okay? You can listen to the hospital. The reason why these are in the fire department channels, you go to like a mass casualty incident, a triage incident, they need to know how many category red, yellows, greens that they're getting in that hospital. You're going to have when you go into your incident command system, you're going to have a triage coordinator. And they're going to be responsible for trying to dictate who's going to what hospital so that way the system doesn't get overloaded. So that has that. You also in this have, it's on mine, it's on channel 8. It says HVA D1. HVA, you're on Valley Ambulance. D1 dispatch. So you can actually key up and talk to their dispatch right from here. So if you ever get to a channel that's unprogrammed, this is what it's going to sound like. You're gonna sit there and watch. So that means there's nothing there. It's going to basically get your attention. So everybody push and hold the home button for me. And that's going to bring us back to central dispatch. Okay. The other thing to note is behind your toggle switch, there's a little nub that sticks out. You can flip it. Okay. Everybody see it? This little nub back here. You can flip. Okay. That nub, if you look directly above your orange button, there's a circle with a line through it and then a circle. Okay. If you move that nub, you see the indicator how it turns to whether it's got the circle or the circle with the line through it.
Yeah.
Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay. If that indicator is on this open circle with not the line through it, you are scanning every channel in that bank. So you're on bank A, B, C. You're scanning everything. You can hear everything, but you will only be able to talk on whatever channel your physical button is on. Okay? So right now we are on central dispatch, but if you're scanning and somebody were to go into the day room and key up on the station radio, it will hurry up and switch to FD003 or whatever channel that radio is on, and then go back to scanning. Okay? The big things to know about that is if you're scanning, you cannot key up and talk. Like if he's on 003 and you're on 475911 and he's talking to you, but you're on scan, but you're not, like your physical radio is not on 003, you'll be able to hear him, but you can't talk back to him. And he won't hear you unless he's scanning as well. Are any of you guys from Holland?
No, sir.
Okay. So that's the big thing. I'm just typing. Oh, wait a second. You guys are normally not at 8:45, aren't you?
Pretty much. Just about.
Pretty much just so basically when we get to 45 is basically wrap up. But no, during practical days, I think it is because we have to have time to go down there and he.
Gotcha. So, I mean, again, it's going to be monitoring like what department has what. Everybody do me a favor, make sure your radio is off. So it's that first switch right here. And turn it all the way. Yep. On. On. Yep. No, I'm good. You guys got your passports and everything? That's good.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Oh, I got one more.